Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode number 50. Andy, tonight's the songs edition. Today is October 17th, 2024, and we've got an album review for the listeners.
Yes, we do, and some different type of news in the other news part, but we'll gonna try and mix things up a little bit here. But go ahead with the album review.
So the album review is a band, we've only done one of these. The band is Skid Row, Andy. Skid Row. And we've done, of course, their popular their debut album that gets all the love. But let's do this here. A little Slave to the Grind. Slave to the Grind. Now, this came out in 1991. It's the second studio album by American heavy metal band Skid Row, released June of 1991. This was on Atlantic Records. The album displayed a harsher sound than its predecessor and lyrics that avoided the hard rock cliches. Slave to the Grind is the first heavy metal album to chart at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in the Nielsen SoundScan era. Now, I didn't know this, Andy. I'm gonna go over it again here. SoundScan era, they sold 134,000 copies its opening week, certified 2 times platinum, and it produced 5 singles. So this is the first heavy metal album to chart at number 1 on that era. The other one was, let's see, I'll find it here in a second, but I didn't know.
Quiet Riot, I think it was.
Boy, well, we'll see here. We'll see here in a second. I mean, it was Elton John's Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy did that in 1975, and Michael Jackson's Bad, 1987. So do you think that this album, I've got the album cover up here now, that this is in the same ballpark as those 2 albums?
Well, what year did this one come out again?
91.
So heavy metal fans were starving for a heavy metal album. Grunge was taken over.
Yes.
Okay. Skid Row was a liked band in the heavy metal society or circuit. We appreciated Skid Row, thought they did good work. Well, because they were new still, so it wasn't a greatest hits from Motley Crue, a greatest hits from Dokken, a greatest hits from Kiss, or Kiss with another album. They're not going to release a song, they're just pumping out albums. This was a new band who was going to do some good music. They had something special there at this band. With Sabo and with Sebastian Bach and with Bolden, those 3, it was just some kind of magic, but it was a scary magic. You know, they could have rewrote the McDonald's jingle and it would have gone to number 1 because it would have just sounded better. There was something about what those 3 had. Their 2 had for chemistry. Sebastian Bach's voice was just that little bit different than the rest. The guitar players were just a little bit different than the rest. And even their ballads were rock ballads. 18 Life was a great song. But Slave to the Grind and their first releases were just so in your face, here it is. It wasn't that grunge stuff. It was our old school heavy metal we were dying for. It was our one last glimmer of hope for the hair bands.
Yes, the one last hurrah, because that first song, and we'll get to the listings here, but Monkey Business and Slave to the Grind, those first 2 songs, and they were actually also the first 2 releases as well. They were bordering on speed metal.
Right. That's what I mean. They're just right in your face.
It was a very refreshing sound because, like I said, no one else was out there doing this, and they wanted to go heavier. They wanted to get out of the rock cliches, and they wanted to do something different. So they sat down and wrote Slave to the Grind in a New Jersey studio, demoed the tracks with Michael Wagner. I like Wagner, that he did the first album. That was a very good debut album for Skid Row. So they used him again, and then they started the recording in late 1990. They used 2 different studios. They wanted to go to a heavier sound with the title track verging on speed metal, it says here in Wikipedia. But the album also includes power ballads and a few lighter tracks.
Yep.
So get this, Andy. Some sources still classified the album as glam metal despite its heavier sound.
No.
Lyrics are more complex They criticize different modern ways of life, authority, politics, drugs, organized religions, and other topics. They cover a lot of ground on the topics, the lyrical content here. It's not just shock jock, crotch rock music. It was they had they had topics that they were touching on. So very interesting.
I like the bands like Iron Maiden and some of those other ones where they're trying to get a point across too, not just like, hi, let's do drugs, drink, and have sex. It was topics.
Yes. More like what I call like songs like the band Kiss, for instance. They're all just kind of AC/DC, the same topics that the junior high kind of the fan. So this is touching on some very and somewhat in some areas also dark topics as well. Now, the Slave to the Grind sound, the song itself, the song on the album is really their demo version.
Yes.
I did not know that. They went back to re-record that and clean it up and do a proper recording. They're like, no, we're unable to match the intensity of the demo, and they used it. I like that. I don't hear that a lot, right?
Right. Stick it up for what you got.
Yeah, so they just pounded that out, and then they went back to clean it up, and they said, no, we can't match the intensity. Let's leave it. Now the cover art here, check this out. The album cover was done. The painting is done by Sebastian Bach's father, David Björk.
Yep.
I did not know that. We're here to educate Andy, but I didn't know that the father did the artwork here on the album. Very good. It's kind of set in a medieval era. So the cover was inspired by, the Caravaggio's burial of St. Lucy in 1608. But he did a kind of a thing like that and came up with this. Pretty good. So they recorded it. They got this out there. Then they opened for Guns N' Roses on the 1991 North American leg of the Use Your Illusion tour. Then in 92, they went to the concert tour here in the America, and Pantera and Soundgarden were the supporting bands. So very interesting. Very good. But yes, the grunge was coming in the 90s. There was not a lot of hard rock, not a lot of heavy metal. And
here they had two grunge bands opening for them on their tour.
Yes. All right. So the track listing, song 1, Monkey Business. Very good. Slave to the Grind. Very good. Song 3 is called The Threat. Song 4 is Quicksand Jesus.
That's a good one.
And that also, the message there as well, very deep lyrics. Song 5 is Psycho Love. Song 6 is Get the Blank Out. They recovered that with Beggar's Day on the U.S. Song 6 is Beggar's Day.
And just to say, we're trying to keep this PG-13. The song is, the words not actually blank. It's something you can figure it out.
So they do have the original version and a clean version, because there are some songs with explicit lyrics. There are some something other going on here. They wanted to get a clean version, so they cleaned it up for the general public.
A radio release version, yeah.
Radio release, yes. The clean version was Beggar's Day. That's a very good song as well. Song 7 is Living on a Chain Gang. 8 is Creep Show. 9 is In a Darkened Room. Now that's a very good song. That's touching on child abuse.
Yeah.
Overcoming child abuse is a tough topic there. Song 10 is Riot Act. Song 11, I like this one, Mud Kicker.
That was a good one, yeah.
And then song 12 is Wasted Time. So the total running length is 48 minutes, 41 seconds. The Japanese edition bonus track does include a song, Holidays in the Sun. It's a Sex Pistols cover song. Have you heard that song?
No. I mean, I've heard the Sex Pistols one, but not their cover, no.
And then they do one, a cover from Judas Priest, Delivering the Goods. So I might do some checking here this week after the show here, Annie. I'm going to try to research those and try to listen to those. I have not heard those bonus edition tracks. The old Sex Pistols and
I'm sure you can find it on Spotify and other platforms.
Yes. So I like it. There's 12 songs, 48 minutes. There's no instrumentals. All the songs are 3, 4, 5 minutes long. There are ballads, there are power ballads that are still good songs, though. Some of them, Andy, what I took from this is there are 2 or 3 of these songs that does remind me of the original debut album. The
Yep.
sound kind of reminds me as that. The rest are very completely different than the first album. I mean, the very different song, the music altogether, the composition, it doesn't remind me of that first album at all, except for those few. Now, the personnel. Now we know that they've had current day troubles and whatnot with the band, but
Yep.
back in '91 it was Sebastian Bach lead vocals, Dave Sabo guitars, Scotty Hill guitars, Rachel Bolan bass. That's his name, and the drums, Rob Afuso on the drums and percussion. I thought this was a pretty clean album as far as the musicianship, the production, very tight.
Yeah, Sabo and Bolan do 99% of the writing. Sebastian Bach's on some of those with them too. Like I said earlier, when you got the same 2 writing all the songs, sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't, because if it's the same 2, they all sound the same. How those 2 made it sound like different groups of 8 wrote the album. So you can't tell the same 2 guys wrote all these songs because they're so different as you go through them.
That's what I liked about it. Very different. It's not like popping in a Boston CD, just somewhat where they all kind of sound the same, but this is very different. Now, what they did here in '91 is they were able to, of the 12, release 5 singles, Andy.
Right.
Monkey Business right before the album came out. Slave to the Grind came out in around Labor Day that same 1991 year. Wasted Time came out in November of '91, and then also in November, but in Europe, was In a Darkened Room. They did not release that in the U.S. That was Europe only. In a Darkened Room, tough topic there. They're touching on, and then Quicksand Jesus released of May of the following year in '92, but only in Japan. So they got some singles released, different countries got things out, but they did do videos for them, and you can actually watch the videos for all 5 singles on the No Frills video, the video album. I may want to pop that in and do a little search for that if you get a chance on YouTube and watch the video. They also did the music video that was made for the song Psycho Love, was done in 3D. And that's featured on the video album Roadkill. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I have not.
So we've got some homework for the listening audience, Andy, because Skid Row was good. This is a very good album. It had good reviews. It also had some negative reviews, but for the most part, this is done very good, very well. A well done album. One you can pop in. It's heavy, it's quick, and it's fast, and it's speed, and it's power ballads, and it's great. I like the guitar work. I like the guitar work. So this came on the heels of their original debut album, Skid Row. And then the following year, they released B-Side Ourselves in 1992. B-Side of the B-Sides. So that's what they released at that point. But, I still can't believe, double platinum for this album. And listening to the music, yes, I do not doubt that. But I played that original debut to death, I think, when that came out in '89, and got reacquainted with this one here this week. Any other thoughts on Skid Row, Sebastian? What are they going through now? Did they break up because of that Kiss farewell tour?
Yeah, something happened there. They broke up. Sebastian Bach's still been doing solo stuff. They've got someone else. They've had a couple other guys be lead singers. They got Gal, I think, right now doing it. So Skid Row's still out there doing that. As far as new stuff they released since B-Sides, I'm not familiar with. I'll hear some of their stuff on Spotify here and there, but I don't get that excited about it.
Yeah, I think we got some homework to do. I'm certainly going to this weekend here search up some of these things and see where we're at. But that's all I got for Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, 1991. Good album. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Combination police report, injury report, Not making fun of either one, but it's kind of two things in one here to start off with.
Okay.
There was a shooting October 15th, confirmed that management legendary rock guitarist Jake E. Lee from Ozzy Osbourne's band, the Badlands, Red Dragon, Cartel, was shot multiple times early in the morning on October 15th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Street shooting. Lee was fully conscious and doing well in intensive care unit at the Las Vegas hospital. He's expected a full recovery. Other reports I've read, this is just a pure random shooting. Wrong guy, wrong place, wrong time. He was just out walking the dog, and someone came by and shot an old long-haired dude. So,
wow, just a random.
Thoughts and prayers go up to Jake E. Lee and his family for that.
Jake E. Lee, wow, very talented.
And also, Liam Payne, former member of One Direction, dies the other day after a 3-story fall from a hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's all our staff had on that at the time. Pretty big name, pretty big band. I'm sure you can, if you're a fan, you can find that on social media and get what you want. But 31, way too young.
Very young.
My kids aren't even that old yet. So, and there it is. Just from management from the fall. So I don't know if they're going to say who could be under the effects of drug and alcohol. Nothing's been released officially yet. So we will see what comes up of that. Some concert news. Black Sabbath, tribute Black Sabbath, Black Rainbow Dio stuff coming up here at
December 13th
in Minneapolis there. That'd be interesting. So
that's a Friday night. That'd be awesome.
Friday the 13th to listen to Sabbath and Rainbow.
Wow. Sabotage.
Yeah. The beginning of the 12 days of Christmas right there.
That is, that does interest me. So it's down on 29th and Lindale.
Yep. Uptown VFW.
Okay. Like it.
Speaking of Christmas, Motown Christmas down at Ames Center in Burnsville, the Temps, the Miracles, the Contours, November 7th. That should be very interesting music, very good music by those guys.
Great venue once again.
Yep. And Trans-Siberian Orchestra, December 21st, they'll be in St. Paul. They're usually here sometime in December all the time, and they're staying true to their form. If you can't wait till then, November 14th in Des Moines, Iowa, November 13th in Council Bluffs,
yes,
Iowa, if you can't wait. And we've listened to The Best Time Machine is a song. It's got my meme of the week there.
That's very good.
Got some birthdays. Just a couple, but two very inspirational people in the music industry. Michael McKean. Yeah, some of you may know him as Lenny from Laverne and Shirley, or Lenny and the Squigtones was his band on Laverne and Shirley. His birthday, October 17th. But Michael McKean's also known as one other character, one other great musician in musical history, David St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes.
David St. Hubbins. I didn't know that, Andy. That's awesome. That was him.
And they're working on a second Spinal Tap.
Yes.
In the rumors again. So.
Oh my God. Gotta love
Chuck
the name.
Berry tomorrow has a birthday. Great song. Johnny B. Good and My Ding-a-Ling. That's an extra homework. Play My Ding-a-Ling tonight for the kids. And in the remembering part, it's kind of our, I hate to say new segment because it sounds like it's a good thing, but this week we are remembering John Denver, who passed away October 12th, 1997 from a plane crash. And a self-made plane. He was an amateur pilot over Monterey Bay in California. 53 years old at the time. He had 15 songs in the Billboard's top 40 charts. His first marriage was married to a gal from Minnesota here. Met her down at, was it Concordia or St. Olaf or somewhere college?
Okay.
He was married to her for a while till they divorced and he remarried. But John Denver, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, that song. He was in the movies Oh God and Oh God Book 2. Kind of had that goofy 70s hairstyle there. He made it look good, made it popular. him and the kid from 8 is Enough are the only two that can kind of get away with that.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's Scarecrow. Those are the only 3 people that can get away with that. That's what I got, man. Pretty short and sweet this week.
Well, between Skid Row and the information here, you can check the crawl on the bottom here of how you can reach out and contact us, get onto our social media and whatnot. But
yes.
We have a few episodes left here of this season, and then we'll crank into season number 6. But right now, this is season 5. For the listeners out there, do a little Skid Row research this weekend.
Yes.
Search it up, as they say.
Right.
But that's all I've got. Anything else, Andy?
No. That's it. There's our social medias on the bottom. Threads, Facebook, Twitter, or X. We've changed it to be X now. We're trying to be one of the cool kids.
Yes.
And Instagram. Check us all out there. Let us know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Blah, blah, blah.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good week, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.